Look at this thing sitting in the parking garage. Dark gray, soft closed doors, not a single vent or wing out of place. If you didn't know any better, you'd walk right past it and assume it belongs to some quiet executive who just wants to get to a boardroom without being noticed. And that's exactly the point, because underneath that restrained sheet metal lives something that has no business being this polite. We're talking about a machine that can shame cars wearing Italian badges and screaming paint jobs. And today we're pushing it to the edge to find out if this executive vault can actually survive raw, violent track speeds, or if it's all just a well-dressed illusion. Forget everything you think you know about what a fast car is supposed to look like. Loud wings, neon paint, exhaust notes that wake up the whole neighborhood. That's the old playbook. The 2026 Audi S8 tears that playbook up and just walks away from it silently. This is quiet luxury taken to its most extreme, most dangerous conclusion. Every line on this body is calm. Every surface says, nothing to see here. And that's the irony that makes this car so dangerous. Because while it's blending into a boardroom parking lot without raising a single eyebrow, it's concealing over 600 horsepower, just waiting under a hood that barely hints at what's coming. You open that door, it closes on its own with this soft, expensive click, like the car itself is whispering, relax, you're safe here. And that's the moment right before everything changes. Because the second you bury that throttle, the cabin stops whispering, it erupts. That biturbo 4-liter V8 doesn't ease into its power, it slams into it. And suddenly this 2-ton executive sedan is throwing you back into massage seats with a gut punch of torque that makes 0 sense on paper. Feel that surge. That immediate, brutal wall of torque isn't supposed to come from something built for chauffeuring CEOs, but here it is, launching this thing towards 60 in numbers that put actual mid-engine supercars on notice. We clocked the sprint, and trust me, the data doesn't lie. This isn't a sedan that happens to be quick. This is a predator that happens to wear a suit. Now here's where most people get it wrong. They assume straight line speed is the whole story. It's not even half of it. Point this thing into a corner and the real sorcery starts. The 2026 active suspension system reads the road faster than your brain can process what's happening, flattening body roll to almost nothing, like the laws of physics quietly stepped aside. And then there's the rear wheel steering. This is the part that genuinely messes with your head, because a car this long, this heavy, starts moving through tight corners like it shrunk 3 sizes. It carves, it rotates, it does things a limousine has absolutely no right to do. And the wild part, the steering never fights you for it. It stays light, almost gentle in your hands, right up until you're cruising past 150 miles an hour. And it locks into this eerie, planted stability, like the car is holding your hand through the chaos while everything outside becomes a blur. Step back inside for a second and you'll notice the paradox never stops. The augmented reality display floats information right into your line of sight. The haptic controls respond to the faintest touch. Everything in here feels stripped down, minimal, intentional. 1 second you're sinking into a massage seat that's working out the knots from your commute. Total serenity, total calm. Flip into performance mode, and that same cabin turns into sensory overload. Gauges sharpening, sound deepening, the whole car waking up around you like a switch just flipped in its DNA. And somehow, through all of that violence outside, the isolation inside keeps you composed. Your hands stay steady, your breathing stays even. You're breaking speed records while looking like you're still just driving to a meeting. And that composure right there, that's the real weapon. Because let's be honest about what's actually happening in the performance world right now. The era of screaming for attention is getting quietly dismantled by cars smart enough not to need it. Wild wings and neon wraps, they're a young sports language. What we're witnessing with this S8 is something more calculated, more mature, and honestly more terrifying if you're the one trying to keep up. There's a specific kind of psychological advantage that comes from driving something everyone underestimates. Nobody at the stoplight sees this car and thinks twice. Nobody in the next lane braces for what's coming. And then it's gone. No drama, no smoke, no theatrics, just gone, vanished up the road while they're still processing what just happened. That's not an accident. That's the whole design philosophy working exactly as intended. So here's the real question we set out to answer today. Does the 2026 Audi S8 actually deserve the title of the ultimate executive sleeper? Or is that just clever marketing wrapped around a fast sedan? After everything we just put it through, the brutal launches, the corners that should have made it lean and stumble, the top speed runs where most big sedans start feeling nervous, this thing never once broke character. It stayed composed, stayed silent, and stayed absolutely, terrifyingly fast the entire time. That combination, total luxury sitting right on top of terrifying power, isn't a gimmick here. It's the entire identity of this car. If you're the kind of person who loves watching supercars scream down a straightaway, that's a whole different kind of thrill, and there's nothing wrong with that. But if you understand the deeper appeal of a car that hunts in silence, one that lets you dominate the road while looking like you're just running errands, then the 2026 S8 might be the most dangerous car on sale today, precisely because nobody sees it coming. Drop a comment and tell me, would you rather have the loud supercar everyone notices, or the silent sedan that disappears before anyone realizes what just happened? Hit subscribe if you want more of these builds pushed to their absolute limits, because this is only the beginning of what 2026 has waiting for us.